Welcome everyone to the first episode of Kraken of the Week. What we're going to be doing is every week we'll be taking a look at some game film, looking at what went right, tactics that could have been better utilized, what the enemy team should have done to respond, and any other points of interest that pop up during the game. For this week we will be taking a look at the Tier 5 heavy cruiser Pensacola. This is my favorite ship, especially right now with the Bureau projects, the Conqueror and Gearing. You need a win in a Tier 5 ship. This is one I go to almost every day. I am using Victor Einstein as my commander. He gives me the Ingenious as well as the Twist and Track perk, so I can see where the nearest ship is all the time. This game, we have a game of domination, and this map, I'm not a huge fan of this map. It encourages cruisers and battleships to stay towards the outside. If you go into the inside like this Alba does, you will typically get punished. And right here, he immediately gets punished, eating 3 citadels, 2 overpins, and 1 penetration. And less than 2 minutes into the match, he is hurting big time. When you're playing this map, I highly recommend that you stay toward the outside if you're a cruiser or a battleship. Roaming into the middle of the islands there, you're asking to be focus fired and just get deleted by the other team. It's more map design. It's not something I love doing, but honestly at this point you need to be protecting your health at all costs, especially this early in the battle. Let the destroyers go in and get the caps. So we're working the outside here. Atlanta is doing the same. Atlanta though should not be in close quarter battles. It thrives at being back behind islands, lobbing those shells over the islands. That's the whole purpose of the Atlanta, using that trajectory of its high arcing shells to fire from cover. Unfortunately, this guy got a little aggressive, comes around the island, gets punished pretty quickly, and is just eating shells left and right. Well, he does start shooting at us here, and as we can see, we have 2 other ships shooting at us, so we're going to just start kiting away, start using that rudder, switch back and forth. But so far this has been a solid start to the game. Not even 3 minutes in, we're at 35,000 damage. Here we're going to squeeze another salvo off on the Atlanta. He is trying to kite away at this point, but a little too little and too late, and he does go down right here. Now we turn around and see the Alba that we were punishing earlier. He just has only a sliver of health left. And so we're going to go ahead and finish him off, put him out of his misery, and kind of reevaluate where we're at. So at this point, we've taken out 2 of the ships on this southwestern part of the map. We see the New Mexico pushing in. We do know that there's a destroyer here somewhere. If you look at that twist and track and we see the smoke there, the destroyer is somewhere in that direction. But at this point, we need to be more worried about the New Mexico. Those guns can wipe us off the map in a heartbeat. So we're going to just go ahead and keep kiting away and try to take his attention. Because as you can see here, our enemy battleships are coming around the island and they have a beautiful broadside shot at him. Now, great situational awareness by the New Mexico captain. They realize what's going on and immediately turn towards the back of the map to try to preserve their health. This was not a battle they were going to win. Our cruiser and battleships recognized they couldn't go around the island because of the destroyer, but they could sit there, continue lobbing shells at the New Mexico all day with very little consequences. Now that the battleship's attention is focused elsewhere, we're going to go ahead and start moving back into the map. We're a little far out in open water to really be supporting, and the enemy has gone ahead and taken B and C. Fortunately, our team has responded. They are in the process of capping C, but here we can see the Tier 6 Surrey pop up. He is playing rather aggressive, and both of our battleships have solid shots on him, and he eats a lot of damage right there, but not before inflicting some serious damage on our flank. This was an extremely aggressive play by him, and it's going to pay off. Right here, takes out the Budani. He's going to turn, get some cover back behind the island here. We're able to get a solid salvo on him, but not enough to finish him off. In the process, he finishes off the Ismail, That's 2 ships he's taken out from our flank now. And now we have the Surrey versus, I think it's a P. Friedrich here. Yeah. Our salvo is a little bit behind. We wanted that to be a little bit more into the middle section of the ship in order to get his citadel. Unfortunately, we couldn't find it. He takes out the P. Friedrich, just absolutely decimating our flank. Fortunately, we're able to stop the bleeding here, take him out for kill number 3. At this point, both teams have 5 ships left, 2 destroyers on each. We have 3 cruisers, however, they have 2 cruisers and a battleship, and that battleship can really tip the balance of the game. So, first off, we need to make sure that we get another cap. We're behind on points, so we need to start playing catch up. In order to do that, we're going to head and start pointing our nose at B and try to get in there and get some points. We do have to be very, very careful. As we can see, the last spotted locations of 3 of the ships were right here near us, and we are the closest ship for them to be firing at. So if we get spotted here, we're just asking to get killed in a hurry. So continue on, but with caution. Taking a quick look at the roster here, just making sure what we're going up against. Right now, down 180 points. We see twist and track. We know that that ship is somewhere in the middle, and that's a big issue for us. If we can't get in the middle to get the cap, it's going to be a very, very quick ending for us, and it's going to be a loss. So moving in there, when we looked at the roster, we know that there's a Dallas, the Benham, and the New Mexico on our side. They're great kill by our team, taking out the enemy's Bootiani. Now we have a ship advantage, or sorry, rather, actually it's still equal. 3 cruisers and a destroyer versus 2 destroyers and a cruiser and battleship. We're moving in. We see the New Mexico. While we have a shot at him, might as well go ahead and lob some shells over. It's kind of telling that we don't get spotted right here, but then we do see the Dallas. See that he's relatively broadside, so we immediately switch over to AP rounds. We're going to try to use this island right here, right in front of our nose, as a little bit of cover. But as we do that, we're going to go ahead and keep our turn going, get all 4 turrets fired at him, or at least pointed at him, and then get a solid salvo right here. We did get spotted what felt like a little early, so we do have to be a little nervous of the Benham. He is most likely somewhere in the middle of this cap. Here we're going to just keep firing the AP rounds because the Dallas isn't paying any attention to us. We get them down to just a sliver of health, but we do see that indicator pop up that someone's aiming at us. So it's time to go ahead, hit the throttle, get some distance between us and that New Mexico. As we continue moving north, we saw that the destroyer did get spotted there for a little bit, so he is right behind the island here. We popped the plane. We want to make sure we keep our eyes on the Dallas. In the process, our Akatsuki comes out big, takes off the biggest guns in the game, the New Mexico, and that really opens it up for us. That means that we don't have to worry about so much being dev struck. Just make sure that we're not completely broadside to that Dallas, and we should be good. We pop sonar, trying to make sure that we're staying ahead of where this Benham is. Unfortunately, our Devonshire right there does eat a bunch of torps and goes down. Somehow throughout all this Dallas has been spotted. He has yet to get killed. Just barely holding on to life. But we do see the Benham pop up once again, and we're going to switch over to HE and start popping him again. Of course, if you're playing, make sure the destroyers go down first. They are the most deadly and can absolutely wreck a game. Fortunately, we do drop spot, get that one last salvo off, and it's just enough for us to get the 4th kill and Confederate medal of the game. And at this point, things are looking great. We just have to finish off this last Dallas that has only a sliver of health left, and we will finish off the win and the Kraken. Right here, this is interesting. The twist and track, it's going to come in very, very handy here because it's going to continue to tell us where he's at. And what you'll see here is this Dallas is going to play a little bit of hide and seek these last couple minutes. Twist and track allows us to continue to track him where he's going, so we can go ahead and surprise him or just keep an eye on where he's at in order to make sure he's not going to ambush us or he's not going to be able to just hide somewhere. So continuing around the island, trying to chase him down. We do have a plane ready to go, but we're not going to launch it just yet. At this point, I'm aware I have 4 kills. I see that there is another cruiser coming in. I'm not going to pop the plane in case they have a firing angle. I'm being a little selfish at this point. I want the Kraken. The win is all but guaranteed since we have 3 caps. So just a little bit of awareness there, holding on to that just for selfish reasons. Overall, I think this has been a great game, showing the capabilities of the Pensacola. This ship is an absolute beast when played right, making sure that you protect its armor, avoid going broadside, and then use the guns the way they're meant to be used. There, if you look back at that engagement with the New Mexico, when he was completely broadside, we went ahead, kept the AP in. We were raking in 4,000 and 5,000 damage salvos on him. It's just an absolute beast of a ship. Here we do see the Dallas threw his plane up, so he knows where we are. At this point, we don't care too much, other than being completely broadside and him firing AP in us. He's not going to be able to kill us in one salvo, and the last we saw, his health was all but gone. So we're just going to continue around the island here, keep pushing in. At this point, we're going to be aggressive to a fault. We would rather go ahead and get the last kill. Fortunately, our destroyer and Atlanta went in. They're going to finish off the cap here. And overall, this was a fantastic team win. This is one of the games that keep me coming back. It wasn't lopsided one way or the other. Both teams were playing relatively well. They were being smart, paying attention to where ships were. And unfortunately, we were just lucky enough to come out on top. Continue down around the island here. We know that twist and track, as it says, it only gives you an approximation. So there you can see he had continued to tuck back around the island. We spot him, get the last shot in the Kraken. Thanks for watching the first episode of Kraken of the Week. We'll have another one coming at you next week. If this is your first time here, consider hitting subscribe. We'll have a lot more World of Warship videos coming at you shortly. Have a good one.